Good evening, our wonderful viewers out there. Welcome to this edition of TV talk show brought to you by the Gambia Press Union. I am Musa Sajo, a program officer on freedom of expression and access to information with the Gambia Press Union. This project is funded by the EU-UNDP Great Project titled the Gambia's Responsive and Democratic Transition. The program basically seeks to create public awareness on the roles and responsibilities of key governance institutions in the Gambia. Yeah, so today with me are representatives from 3 key institutions that are considered as part of this project. We have the Information Commission of the Gambia with us today, and also the Media Council of the Gambia. And we also have a lady from the Post-TRC unit under the Ministry of Justice. Yeah, so I will give floor to my panelists, the guests, to introduce themselves before we enter into the program proper. Yeah.
So, ladies first.
Thank you. Good evening to everybody watching. My name is Ida Person. I'm the head of the Post-TRC unit. I'm also an advisor, special advisor on transitional justice to the Honorable Minister of Justice. It's a pleasure to be here with my co-panelist.
Good evening, viewers. I'm Babukar Cham, Chair of the Media Council of the Gambia. Welcome you to the program.
Well, I am John Charles Yai, Vice Chair, Information Commission. It's good to be here and good to be with my fellow panelists that I know very well.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that introduction, and also honoring the invitation of the Gambia Press Union in this discussion. Yeah, so just as I said, this project basically seeks to create public awareness on the roles and responsibilities of key governance institutions. And the 3 institutions that are identified for the Gambia Press Union are the 3 representatives we have today here. So I will start with the Special Advisor to the Government on Transitional Justice, Ida Person, because we are all aware this is a new development in the Gambia. We entered into a transitional justice for the first time, and after the Truth Commission now, an office is established. Perhaps she knows better what the office is established for, but I think our viewers will want to know more particularly what will lead to the establishment of the Post-TRC unit, and also what work is the Post-TRC unit doing in the Gambia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm always happy to talk about the Post-TRC unit because, like you said, we are to some degree the new kid on the block. You're right. We embarked upon a transitional justice process in January 2017, the first time, and I hope the last time that we will ever in our history as a nation have to undergo transitional justice per se. So transitional justice is a process by which a nation looks back and questions the human rights violations that have occurred there systematically, civil, political, but even social, economic, and cultural rights. And in the Gambia, we've had, I'm proud to say, the most holistic transitional justice program the world has ever seen. We've had several truth-seeking processes, not just the TRC, but even the Janneh Commission as well. We've had a panel of missing persons. We've had and continue to have institutional reforms. Security sector reforms started in 2017. The reform of the judiciary, the civil service, it led to the creation of the Ministry of Public Service. We've had reparations processes, right? The TRC started an interim reparations program, et cetera, and we've had justice and accountability efforts. We've had 2 prosecutions that have stemmed from the TRC. So it's a very broad program, but you're right. At the conclusion of the TRC, they submitted a final report to His Excellency, President Adama Barrow, where the TRC made 265 recommendations to the government after having heard testimony from over 393 witnesses and looking at the period July 1994 and January 2017 and specifically at civil and political rights. So out of the 265 recommendations, 263 have been accepted for implementation by the government in its white paper, and this was published in May 2022. A year later, an implementation plan was also published. So in May 2023, we have the implementation plan to the white paper's report on the TRC.
Yeah.
And the plan basically takes the 263 recommendations and breaks it down into a series of activities, identifying which government ministries, departments, agencies are going to work on them, the budget they'll require, and the timeline that is foreseen.
Right.
So a very programmatic apologies, a very programmatic approach has been taken to implementing the TRC's recommendations, and I think that's a very good practice.
Yeah.
So who are we as the Post-TRC unit? We're not a government ministry per se, an agency. We're a unit, that's true. 59, I must say, government institutions, ministries, departments, agencies are currently implementing the TRC's recommendations, and we can talk about the status of implementation later. But the Post-TRC unit is a secretariat. It's been established under the implementation plan to basically coordinate the entire implementation process. Our cousin is the Human Rights Commission. They monitor and report back. But as a secretariat, we're supporting coordination. And in terms of coordinating, yes, we send a lot of letters to hold meetings and bring people together, but there's more to it. We are responsible to ensure that the process is transparent, communication is out there, and we're also responsible to mobilize resources, the technical resources needed, but also the financial resources needed as well. So we're a busy unit. We sit at the Ministry of Justice, so we're created under the Ministry of Justice. The Honorable Minister of Justice is the policy leader on transitional justice. We report to the Honorable Minister, but we also have other platforms that we report to as well. I'm happy to tell you more, but I feel as if I should...
Well, I think those are very important, interesting information to share with members of the public. Yeah, and of course, we would like to hear more from you. Yeah, because particularly people normally ask these questions in terms of reparation. What is the progress? And also, some people are also wondering in terms of justice and accountability. Maybe there could be some legal or legal mechanisms that are set up towards that.
No, absolutely. When you look at the 263 recommendations that are being implemented, the Human Rights Commission is reporting on them by activities and have noted that translating them into 304 activities, 263 are ongoing and 101 have yet to commence. That's the status of implementation proper following 2 years of dedicated effort. So in 2 years, we're 2/3 there, put it that way, and there's a third of the recommendations that have yet to be implemented. You can't do it all. And all at once. Some recommendations must be staggered upon the completion of others. But there are certain recommendations like reparations, as you speak of, that you cannot wait for as well. These are the recommendations, I say, and activities that evolve around the lives of people. I mean, reparations is only meaningful if the individual that is deserving of repair receives that repair during their lifetime. So reparations is absolutely urgent and critical, and I think the government has given it that attention. What has been done is the establishment of a commission with the mandate to create a database of all the victims and also to define the policy for reparations. So you can think of it as a bit of a relay where the TRC's interim program started a reparations program, afforded some forms of reparations to victims. Reparations is a broad term. You have compensation, rehabilitation, restitution, and the TRC provided some reparations to 1,009 victims, but they handed over the baton to the government, and the government has since handed over the baton to the Reparations Commission. It would be great to have a show where the commissioners themselves are invited so they can further clarify their mandate and the work that they've done this year to getting closer to continuing on actually issuing reparations. But I think the point is taken that it's urgent, it cannot wait. Every single time we lose a victim, It's absolutely devastating, not only to the family, but to the country as well. And it's even devastating when it comes to issues around prosecutions. Many victims are meant to stand as witnesses in cases as well. So I can't speak for the Commission. I can say that it has been established by law as of last year. Apologies, in 2023. Last year there was a very, very, very thorough and protracted process of identifying the 7 commissioners. Not only were nominations received, but people applied for these positions and competed for them. So the 7 commissioners that have today been appointed under the leadership of Dr. Loom, I think have really demonstrated their capacity to do this work, not just technically, but also understanding the human element of it. And this year, they have been putting in place their policies and starting to think around how to finalize on this national database for victims, because the TRC notes that although 1009 is on their list, they suspect that there are many more victims out there. And so that database needs to be grown. So I hope if given an opportunity, they can further clarify their own timelines that they've set for them, for themselves. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yes, so just as part of your mandate, I think the key there is resource mobilization as a unit. I imagine perhaps in the course of that, your office must have faced some challenges, because I think resource is one of the issues that, across. Yeah, so perhaps you can explain to us in terms of how you are going about that and perhaps the challenges that you are facing.
Certainly. I think when we think about resources, and I'm joined by commissioners, people think about it solely in terms of the money that is necessary to translate ideas into result. I think of resources more broadly. I think about relationships first and foremost as a critical resource. And so the unit is in that central role of ensuring that the relationships that are necessary to move this process forward, the political clout that we need is always there. That we're present, we're transparent, we're honest, we're genuine. What we know, we say. What we don't know, we don't say. We don't overpromise. This is how you build relationships. And so we do a lot of that work with all the friends and partners of the Gambia, starting internally and locally. So the stakeholders themselves, the beneficiaries themselves, are part of this understanding of gathering resources. Civil society in the Gambia has demonstrated, particularly the victim-led organizations, that they are a huge resource center for transitional justice. Many times we tap into the knowledge of civil society organizations to further train and to advise and to allow us to employ the right approach, So firstly, just to say that resources is more than just money. There's relationships behind it as well. There's political clout that you must galvanize from the grassroots, mid-level, higher level, in the country, outside the country. It keeps me very busy, let me tell you that. But without a doubt, we've had many countries come to the Gambia to start looking at our transitional justice program. Yes, because of how ambitious it is, but also because of how much has been accomplished in such a small amount of time. Yes, we know that on reparations we must move quicker. On prosecuting, I agree as well. But when you think about the bigger picture of everything transitional justice entails, honestly, it's incredible how much has been achieved in the 8 years that we've been into it. And these countries, when they come and they ask, what is your biggest, challenge? We tell them that if you don't have the will to do this, your society doesn't legitimize it, or your government doesn't put in the impetus that is necessary, and that be unwavering, it's a non-starter. But once you have that, the biggest challenge absolutely thereafter is the finances. And these processes do cost money. And it's not as if, this is the only thing we're working on. We're about to hear from the Media Council, Information Commission. And there's so many other things that are happening in the Gambia, not to mention just the growing the economy, people having livelihoods, meeting their basic needs and so on, employment. I mean, we're not operating in a vacuum, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
So transitional justice and what we're trying to do there is just added. You know, it's a volition that the people have, that our government has, to see a better Gambia and never again a regression into such rights violation. But it is an added cost. Everything we're doing is an added cost, and everywhere that there have been transitional justice programs, a critical aspect to ensuring that these plans and programs are put in place and succeed is financial contributions of other countries as well. Yeah.
Thank
No
you so
different
much.
in the Gambia.
Yeah, of course. I'm from the special advisor to the government on transitional justice. I think this office is doing a great job in terms of the transitional justice process of the Gambia. And just as you state in your deliberation, like transitional justice is a process, and you mentioned about the government, the work plan that is from 2023 to 2027.
Yes.
So within this period, most of these recommendations by the Commission is expected to be implemented.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think these are very important developments and informations that our viewers will also find interesting to hear. Yeah, so thank you so much on that note, Ida.
I'm grateful.
Yeah, so we also, just as I said, this project is looking into basically three key institutions, governance institutions in the Gambia. And we have the Post-TRC unit and also the Media Council of the Gambia and the Information Commission. Now, I think personally my experience with the media is just 3 years. And I imagine the Media Council has been in existence and the important work that the council is established for. Yeah, so perhaps not only for the journalists or members of the media fraternity, I think the members of the public will also want to know, in terms of lodging complaints before the Media Council, how do they go about it? But more broadly, we'll want to hear what is the work of the Media Council of the Gambia, or in the first place, why is the Media Council established? Yes.
Thank you very much, Musa. You certainly allow me to extend my regards to my co-panelists. And to thank Aida, because the exposure was very, very insightful. We wish you all the best anyway. Because, you know, and my regards to the entire management and staff of the Q Group in general, specifically Q TV. We high regards to the viewers who are actually sharing with us this program. Yes, to talk about the Media Council, we will have to put it in the context of exactly this transitional justice we were talking about. A lot has been put on the table to make sure that what happened sometimes before will never happen again. And the minimum is to ensure that the populations get the right information at the right moment. When you talk about information, certainly you will have to talk about ethics, fundamental. And at one point in time, if you have to contextualize, exactly following, you know, movements all over, you know, to try to re-establish people in their rights. One of those rights being to be informed, to be correctly informed.
Yes.
You know, a lot of consultation has been ongoing regarding what should be done for free media, for freedom of expression to be expanded and things of the like. A lot of solutions was on the table. GPU has done a lot there, but members of civil society organizations too. And together with government and the entire population. I think it was a global movement towards going farther in terms of respect of human rights and things of the like. Out of all the solutions that were on the table came out one, which gained almost something like a consensus. And that is this Media Council of the Gambia. And it was how to call it again, imagine as something that will be one very important self-regulatory body, free from any kind of pressure. Okay? Because it is evident that some ethical issues might have one explanation, lack of independence of media practitioners. It's a challenge. It's a very important challenge. Though you have wonderful journalists here who are doing a wonderful job. It's not easy. But the Media Council was looked at as a body that would be totally independent, self-regulation over state control.
Right.
It's better for the state, it's better for the media, it's better for the public. And it has to be voluntary too. It has to be strong enough to instigate some changes in terms of media practice in the Gambia. The General Charter of Ethics for Journalists has been brought up, which I want to believe should be available for any media practitioners and above media practitioners, general public. The general public should know how things are going in the media industry.
Right.
Okay, in the Media Council, you have the Governing Council. The Governing Council is made of 11 institutions.
Okay.
Institutions that are members and institutions designate their representatives. It's very inclusive because you have basically the broadcaster station, you have the editors, you have the people living with handicap, you have institutions representing children. Children are very sensitive, very, very sensitive, and at times they might be utilized wrongly in media delivery services. It's not good. At times you will see children being used in adverts. It's not fair. So the Media Council has to look at all those things. So you have the Governing Council, and then you have the Executive Secretary, who happened to be by Emil Ture, my colleague, at the Information Commission. We send him hello. And then you have the Ethics Panel. The Ethics Panel is very important. It's made of 3 eminent personalities in this country. Ami Youth Cole is our good sister, a veteran female journalist, very committed, Ami. You have Salutal, Salutal of Gambia'S decided, and you have Elaserin Faye, the chair of the NCCE. Right. Okay, what is the modus operandi? We know that we are human beings, you are human beings, journalists are human beings, and at times, in good faith or in bad faith, they might make mistakes. Yes. And the mistake of a journalist might be very heavy. Yes. Because you have tools that are very, very, very important, but they are very powerful. The pen, you will not need to know who read your article and the lifespan of that article. Yes. You're 1,000 years ahead. If the paper is still there, you go and you find the article is there, where the comma was there. So if it's a TV or radio program, it's worse. It's worse because it's instantaneous, and then there is what we say in Wolof, it means that if you broadcast a program, it has gone. Yes. And you don't know where it has reached, who has listened to it. Somebody going to a trip in Germany, for example, might listen to it at the airport. He'll never get the chance to get him, even if you send apologies. That's why it's very important to be very, very careful. If we say somewhere else and somehow in all countries that information is power, if it is understood that even in some areas the media is the fourth power, it means power with a huge sense of responsibilities. Yes. Specifically, if you have to serve a country like the Gambia, where we are all interconnected, whether you know it or not, if we go to the first, second, third degrees, we find ourselves seriously linked by relationships. As you are right to say, relationship in this country is fundamental. Yes. So if you are aggrieved, either over TV or radio or over newspaper, you send a complaint. You file a complaint. You can write it yourself. You can come to the Media Council. You will be assisted to write it if you cannot write. And then there you give the maximum of details about yourself, your contacts, etc., but about the program. Yes. That has caused the agreement. If it's a radio, you name the radio, you name the program presenter, you name the name of the program itself, and even the time it has been broadcasted, because you have repeated programs. So if you feel it, you send it to the Executive Secretary, you forward it to the Ethics Panel. The Ethics Panel will conduct some investigations, at least to give its due to a fair consideration of the case. Right. We abhor listening to one party alone. It's not something good professionally wise. So the Ethics Panel will go through investigations, sit down and deliberate on it. Okay? If at the end of the deliberation you are not satisfied, you the plaintiff, you can file an appeal, and that appeal will be addressed to the governing council.
Okay.
The governing council will sit on it, embark on investigations again, and then give out a judgment. That one is without appeal.
It's final.
If you are not satisfied, then it's over between the media council and you. Eventually, you can go to court.
Okay.
But going to court exactly is what brought the media council in existence, because we know that in our social cultural fabric, you bring somebody to court, it means a lot in terms of negativism, in terms of sustainability of relationship, because normally if you bring somebody to court or to the police, it means that you wish the worst to happen to that person, and usually it cannot go without consequences at societal level. So basically this is it. I don't know if I have answered to all your questions. If not, I listen to...
Yes, I think the information is very important, yes, in terms of the procedures that people can follow to lodge their complaints before the media council. You mentioned about the ethics panel, which presides over the complaints, make their investigations and make a decision at the end of the day. So if the aggrieved person is not satisfied, they have the option to appeal to the governing council, whose decision is final, but may be subject to a decision taken by the person before the court. Yeah, so I think that is important for our viewers.
Talking about court, I think it's important to mention that we will not take cases that are
in court. In court, okay.
Yeah. We have sorted out issues that were in court, but for us to commit ourselves, we need to get it out of court, because we respect court.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that is important. Yeah. So you mentioned the Chorna Jallow Charter of Ethics, which is the founding book for all media practitioners and journalists in the country. And I recall just recently some provisions are incorporated into the charter, including hate speech. Yeah. And you mentioned about our social fabric, and particularly the fact that we are heading into the election cycle in the country. I think perhaps it's important, maybe you'll have something to say about that, how journalists should go about, hate speech in the country. Yeah,
one of the major role of the Media Council is to uplift the standards of journalism in this country. That's why it's something that requires a lot of capacity building. Yes. Because to be factual, it is good to know that a lot of journalists for the recent past, they've not been trained to be journalists. They just love it. Yes. Okay, if you love a job, you should give yourself what it takes to do it in the best possible way. Because we have known journalists who have not gone to school of journalism, but bright journalists. We have seen it. If you look at it, we are all journalists in one way or in the other, because basically we live through information. Early in the morning you wake up, negative. That's the question. And you expect you know, we are that society. So if you go through it properly, we are all journalists in one way or in the other, but to do it as a profession, you need to give it its due. You might wake up one morning, you say, yes, I want to be a journalist. Yes, try to know what it takes to be a good journalist. Because I don't think that you want to be a bad journalist. And something everybody should bear in mind is that if you as a journalist, your credibility is your war horse. If you lose it, you are over. And exactly to protect your credibility is important. You try to know what is the news. And avoid, some kind of race to give out news because you want to be the first to, because if you are the first to give a news which is not accurate, you will be the first to go under the damages. So that's why I love them all, they're my friends. But it's good to be serious and to take very seriously this society. It's a peaceful society. Hate speech has no place in this place, definitely. Whoever is doing it, you are doing it against the general order. We are interconnected. The Gambia has not been called the smiling coast of Africa just because people are smiling. No. It's because there are values, human values for that matter, that are, that encourage anybody to be here. And if you're here, you go back home, you have the nostalgia to come here. That is the Gambia. And the values we're talking about are not alien values. And I used to say, I don't know, when will that research be done about the impact of this 81 coup in the global in the global socio-political landscape of the Gambia. Because I want to believe that everything started very badly from 81. I know what was happening here before 81. There was not enough money, but everybody was living at peace. Everybody was, it was just like a big family. That's after 81, that even this stress everybody's talking about, that's after 81 that this stress was noticeable everywhere. Because 81 revealed the saddest part of the Gambian society. It's very sad, but hate speech is something that should be managed by everybody. Misinformation, disinformation, those kind of fake news, no. Because if you give out the news, be certain that some people will go buy that news, even if it's not accurate. That's why it's important to waste time to do fact check. Now it's possible, rather than giving out bad news or giving out news that will put people against each other. That is not good. And that needs to be done before we go towards these elections. We know that, unfortunately, a lot of politicians are good, but there are others who might be troublemakers, and journalists should not follow those people. I will not give my microphone to somebody who insults people. I will not write any article from somebody who has no respect for people. No, we need to respect each other. You can do politics in a very wise manner, in a very, in a very human manner. But you should not be, anybody you look at here has fathers and mothers, children, husband, wives. So I think it's important we as journalists, we look at things from that perspective. And yes, people have the right to get the news, right news. But you don't have the right to instill violence within the people. We'll do a lot during the course of this week, maybe thanks to our potential partners. We will do a lot in terms of capacity building for election reporting. It's important. And in general, because that's where the challenge is. The challenge is to make sure that in any media outlet, there's a culture of self-regulation. It's part of maturity, professional maturity. If everybody at all levels, news, electronic, print, media, if the notion of ethics is there and looked at by all, then we will be in a far better society, the society we deserve.
Thank you so much, Chairman. And I think I have two questions. I think the first one is just to seek clarification, because you mentioned about the ethics panel, and they make deliberations and then make decisions. Just to know what kind of decisions do they normally make. The last question, you mentioned about bringing the idea of self-regulation within media houses, and I imagine in the course of doing that, perhaps there could be some challenges in trying to implement that. So maybe you can also take us through that. I will start with the latter one. Even this charter, charter of ethics, people have some what I call intellectual laziness to read. People don't read anymore. I don't know why. They don't read. It's a small book. It's a pocket book. And within 1 hour, you can go through it, and it will guide you professionally wise. Okay, because there is not enough output from the distribution of it. We are trying to innovate a bit, but we're trying to have it in a vocal audio form. You have small articles, and then eventually you score or Halam to as a backup for the listener for easy listening. Because these are very short articles if you go through it properly. So we're trying to go through that maybe now against March, April. We'll try to see how best we can embark on that. We take a nice voice like the voice of
this person.
It's a nice voice. And then we take that kind of voice, and then we will read articles. Okay? But we separate them. Okay? And if we do that way, we will give it to media houses. They will broadcast it. Like the way adverts are coming. Gradually, I think it will be important for media practitioners, but it will be good for the general public to know. And if it's possible to translate in different languages, it will be important to do it. Just for people to know that, because everybody listens to radio. I think it's the most popular medium we have so far, despite the fact that internet is here and things are right, but it's still there. So I think it's good to have it in different local languages so that populations should be more abreast of what needs to be done and what needs not to be done. Our work is basically shared between us and the entire general population. So everybody has a role to play in making sure that, you know, the media is given its due by media practitioners themselves,
Right.
before being their due to other segments of the population.
Right. Thank you so much. I think just the later part.
That was the later part.
Yes, yes.
And the one was the sanctions.
The decisions, yes.
Yeah, you know, we are not very powerful. We are not very powerful. We are negotiating to get more power, because if we have to be very efficient, then we have to have more power.
Yes.
We sent the kind of draft MOU to Pura in those days. We need to go back to them, because in between they've changed management leadership. We need to try to go and reactivate it.
Yes.
In that, there was some kinds of proposal made exactly in terms of trying to say how best we can get more power. But in the meantime, what we do is, okay, write enough. If you write an article, for example, against Musa,
Yes.
and the case is before us, what you do is you retract the article,
Okay.
you give apology, you use the same medium
Right.
for apologies,
Yeah.
and then after the rest will be a negotiation between the aggrieved person
Okay.
and the. We don't have the power to impose fines.
Right.
We don't have power to withdraw license or things of the like.
Okay.
In fact, we are not confrontational. We try to be more convincing possible.
Right.
That's the best way. I don't
Yes.
think I don't believe in sanctions.
Right.
But at times there are people who are looking for sanctions, because if you do things deliberately, you know, you bear in mind that the no harm option
Right.
is the option of journalism, or the option of the Media Council. We don't allow anybody to harm anybody, because we should live in peace.
Yes.
Just to give journalism its brightest letters.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Chairman. I think that is very important that our viewers and, of course, the general public understand all these mechanisms in place. Yeah, because you mentioned about the MCG being self-regulatory, and also it is cost-effective in the sense that people that submit their applications do not have to pay
in fact,
anything.
if you compare it to court,
Yeah.
it's less time consuming, because the court, you never know when you.
Yes.
It's less time consuming, less mean. You know,
Yes.
there is nothing to be paid.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Yeah. So just to remind our viewers that this program is brought to you by the Gambia Press Union with funding from the EU UNDP GREAT project. Yeah, the project is the Gambia's responsive and democratic transition. It basically seeks to create public awareness on the roles and responsibilities of key governance institutions in the Gambia, and that is why today we have here representatives from 3 very important institutions in the Gambia. That is the Post-TRC unit under the Ministry of Justice, the Media Council of the Gambia, and also we have finally the Information Commission. This is a new development in the Gambia, and I think I'll be right to say not all countries in Africa have an Information Commission. So I think it's important, in addition to all the 3
Senegal has still no Information Commission.
Exactly. So yes,
despite the democratic achievements.
Exactly. So I think these are institutions that the public need to utilize. Yeah. So to talk of the Information Commission, now this body or institution is established by a legislation which was passed in 2021. So we have our commissioner here from the Information Commission, John Charles Njai. I think the public will also want to know. We will start with how the Information Commission came about, but also more importantly, what is the work of the Information Commission at this stage?
All right. Thank you very much, Musa, and thanks again to GPU, Tango, UNDP EU
Right.
for supporting this. As a matter of fact, this is one of the things that, as a commission, we would like to do more of. But we also have our constraints when it comes to what we can do now.
Yes.
But let me go back a bit before talking about the commission to talk about the law.
Yes.
This was one of the most proactive and inclusive laws in this country. Inclusive in that this piece of legislation was initiated by Gambia Press Union and civil society. And it did not come from the normal government deciding on this. And this was because I think during the initial period of the transition, there were a lot of things ongoing, and the Ministry of Justice was also inundated with a lot of work.
Yes.
And the GPU offered to get a professional, legal professional to draft this. And together with civil society and the government, we sat on over a series of meetings trying to refine this piece of legislation. And ultimately, the bill was taken, accepted by cabinet, taken to the National Assembly and unanimously passed. And one phenomenal thing is that our law took, I think, 2 years. It was sent in 2019. By 2021, we had the law. And in other countries like Ghana and Nigeria, it has taken decades. You know, I mean, government would just reject it, or they would, you know, drag their feet, because it's also a tool for transparency and accountability. So for any country to accept it means that there is a willingness on the part of the government to be transparent and to be accountable. You are saying, well, you know, we want you to come and find out what we are doing. And we are also committed to disclosing information and accounting to the people of the Gambia. And so the law was passed in 2021. And part of the law is that the establishment of a commission. The commission has 5 commissioners, a chair, and 4 other commissioners. And the work of the commission basically is to see the implementation, the successful implementation of the act. Now the commission and the mandate really is just to ensure that public information reaches the public. And I will stress that it's public information. So when you talk about an information commission, it's not private information. It's not how many wives a public official has that you are interested in. It's what public information is being held by a public body that the Act calls information holder, that the public has to get access to. So how this works is a very simple thing. You as a citizen or non-citizen, you make a request. And in your request, you need not state your nationality. You need not state the reason why you want the information. It's public information. You request for it. You request by writing a letter. But let me also say that we've developed forms, and we are waiting for the regulations to be finalized by the Ministry of Information, Justice, and then ultimately Cabinet. And when the regulations are done, a part of the regulations, we have forms so that it will simplify the request process. But for now, people can write to the information holder and not to the commission. Because when you hear information commission, some people say, okay, I can come to the commission and ask for some information that relates to Ministry of Fisheries, for example. No. That's not how it works. If it's fisheries, you need information from, write to them and request for the information and be specific as possible. The date, whether something has been published, whether it's a report, the title of the report, so that it's easy to come out with the information. When you request, the information holder, which is the public body, has up to 21 days to give you a response as per whether you'll get it or not get it. Now, but the public body also has an obligation to acknowledge receipt. As soon as the letter goes, a request goes, is to acknowledge receipt of the request. And then, you know, you can say, well, we are working on this and we will get it back to you as soon as possible. And even though the law says 21 days, it does not mean that the public body should wait for 21 days. If the information is available, give it out. And if it's information that the public should have, it doesn't fall under the exemptions, give it out. Because I think as public servants, our obligation is to ensure that we are answerable to the people. And one thing about the Commission, we are answerable to the people through the National Assembly. So the Commission reports to the National Assembly of its activities and all that. And that also helps to strengthen the independence of the Commission. So when the request goes and the information holder goes through the request, if it falls under the exemptions, then you communicate back to the requester that this is under the exemptions, we cannot give it out. Now, if you as information holder feel that the 21 days is not sufficient, the law gives you an extra 14 days.
Okay.
That, you know, because if it's information, for instance, that was produced in 1983, we all know how our systems work when it comes to records. But even the law also mandates information holders, public bodies, to get their record keeping in order, so that you cannot give an excuse that, oh, it's 81, so I take 100 days to look for it. So since the law has been passed, public bodies have an obligation to begin putting things in place so that when information is requested, it could be gotten. Now, if the body fails to give out that information, then you come now to the commission and say, I have requested information. They have refused to give it to us. And we, the commission, because the regulations are not there yet, what we are doing is to engage the public bodies on an individual basis, explain the law, and tell them why they have to give the information, and also listen to their concerns. Because some of the experiences we have had is just some misunderstanding. And obviously, we all know that we are coming from an era where public officials had a phobia of giving out information. Some is out of fear, some maybe it's just out of ignorance of the law, and some maybe it's just deliberately not wanting to give out information. But when we do that and engage the public bodies, to a very large extent, we have had very positive responses, and people are complying. We cannot say we have gotten to 100% compliance rate. What we are going to do come next year is we will have monitors from the commission that will go to the public bodies and see. We can even have maybe people from outside tell you, can you go to that place, request for information, let's see their compliance rate. Let's see whether they will give the information on time, whether they will refuse. So all that is within the powers of the commission to ensure that the law is effectively implemented. Let me touch quickly on exemptions. It's not every public information, really, we can say it should be given out. If you look at under the exemptions, you have issues of national security. As I always give the example, somebody walking into the army and say, okay, let me know, we want to have an inventory of the ammunition. You know, I mean, nobody expects you to have that kind of an information. If the police are investigating a crime, you want them to give you all the information and how far they've gone with investigations. You are jeopardizing the investigations. Cabinet proceedings. Issues of trade secrets, where maybe between countries, or there are secrets. If you give it out, you lose your leverage. As a trader, as a country. So bilateral negotiations sometimes between countries and have clauses that are confidential. Those are exempted, and obviously the law states what those are. But we also would have to get to a point where the Minister of Information would have to do classification as to what information is classified and what is not classified. And that will give people a heads up that, oh, this one, we cannot go there. But that is basically the process and how things work and the reason why the commission has been established.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. I think your deliberation on the exemptions is very important. In the first place, it's important that people know the law is in existence and it gives them the right to request information from public bodies. But also it's important that we know which information is available for requests and which one is not. So I think that part is very important you clarify. So just my final question. I think the people that are interested to make a lodge a complaint before the commission will also want to know at this stage, where can they locate your office?
Well, the office is in Fajara. If you're coming from Sabina, you go past Timbuktu, first turning on the left, the tar road that goes towards Vatex and the former president's residence, Clay Oven. On that way, on the right, you will see a sign that says the Information Commission. That's where,
Right.
that's where we're situated. It's not difficult to find. Hopefully in the coming year we'll have our signs and everything out. And just to maybe close by saying that all public institutions that are listening to the program, or you can call a friend in a public institution, by now we should have the information officers, the list of information officers and deputy information officers, because we've sent out correspondence to that effect and press releases, and very soon we will gazette those public officials that are information officers and deputy, so that the public knows, so that in every ministry, department, agency, you know, state-owned enterprise, who is the person in charge of giving out information, and you can address the letters to that. And we also finally would want the public to know, public institutions, we are not here to fight you, but we are here to ensure that the law is also implemented. Now, in doing that, the best that we can expect from every public body is cooperation. If you have issues that you don't understand about the law, you can always call us. If you have concerns, you can always call the commission, rather than ignoring requests or, you know, going out outrightly denying. So the consultation, I think, would help, because in our work we've discovered that that has worked. So let's avoid the confrontation. We are all in this thing together, and ensuring information for the public ensures peace and stability in a country. Because when people don't have the information, then they get skeptical. They want to, you know, give false information, fake news, misinformation. To avoid that, give the information. And finally, I've said finally 3 times. But there is also the aspect of the law that talks about proactive disclosure. And institutions should know that by now they should be giving out that information on their website. The Ministry of Finance really is doing a very good job at giving out information when it should. You know, whether something is ready, a report is out there, send it on the website. Let people have access to it even before they come. And that's what the proactive disclosure is there for. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we are just being informed that we are out of time now. So just to allow you, if you have 1 or 2 words to share with our viewers before we wrap up.
Well, thank you. Certainly to thank the Gambia Press Union and co-panelists, the Information Commission, the Media Council, the donors and supporters of this program, the EU and UNDP. It's been a great honor. I feel beyond the TRRC process, right, just hearing about all the other efforts that are ongoing to rebuild the Gambia, or perhaps build for the first time the Gambia ever true. It's to be debated. I think it goes to show that there is really, truly a lot of deep, difficult, serious, but unavoidable work that must take place in this country. And I think that as much as we are sometimes skeptical, questioning and critical, ultimately we must all work together. There are no alternatives. I say there's only the Gambia. So grateful for the opportunity, and I hope that everybody continues to support the Post-TRC process, but also all these other incredible initiatives that are ongoing. It's been a pleasure to be here. Really.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner?
Well, just to call on public bodies, let's work together. We are here for the good of the country. Let's do what is expected of us as public officials. Let's give out information when we have to give out information, so that we remain safe, we remain together, and we remain accountable to the people who are paying our salaries. Thank you very much.
Right. So on that note, thank you so much to our panelists and also our wonderful viewers. Just to remind you, this program is brought to you by the Gambia Press Union with funding from the EU United Nations Great Project, which seeks to create public awareness on the roles and responsibilities of key governance institutions in the Gambia. Thank you so much.
Thank you.